to predict which one of these teams is going to come out on top. But as we go into the draft, we do see Lyra getting taken out. Adagio is led through. The Samuel Rome might have given some people some nightmares in this semifinal, so he's off the board.
Later, yeah,
well, it certainly gave Gangstar some nightmares, and that's going to not be a case here. But with the Adagio pickup, that's going to mean Snow Avalanche. They're going to go ahead and grab that Lance away. And Lance is actually a pretty solid pick into Adagio. The root doesn't really affect him too much, but if you can get a stun off while he's trying to do that Burst of Judgment, you can just completely shut him down.
Yeah, and Lance also absorbs quite a lot of damage coming in, and Adagio being such a high damage carry, it's nice to have someone who can soak up some of those auto attacks and powered auto attacks coming out. Glaive is picked up by Snow Avalanche. The Glaive and Lance combo could be pretty deadly if they're going for some of these hard lane ganks, but once again, we don't technically know where this Lance is going quite yet.
Yeah, it's a heavy pick potential coming out of the Lance and Glaive. There's going to be the Arden, so the Adagio Arden for G2 Esports. That's a combo that we've been seeing plenty of times throughout the championships having some great success with it. Sky going to be the last pickup. With it being Europe, we don't necessarily know if it's going to be a Crystal or Weapon Sky, but I would really like to see it be the Weapon Sky with the Adagio.
It is a risky pick, though, because we do see Lance and Glaive on the other side, so if this Sky goes into the jungle, I think she's going to have a pretty hard time, but we now know the strategy, the front line, Glaive and Lance, to protect the Scarf. He's going to get some Spitfires off into this immobile.
It has happened indeed. Well, and I think when they came out of the Challenger Series, not a lot of people giving the Snow Avalanche team credit, but they are a talented group of guys. They've been around since autumn season on different teams, different iterations.
Yeah, they've certainly put in the effort.
Certainly have put in the effort to get here. Well, let's see if they can close this out, move into the finals. I think for both of these organizations, it would be a huge deal to get into the finals.
Oh, definitely. No, Snow Avalanche, well, the Snow organization, certainly. Every single season, they've had a team in the top 4, and it's not Tsunami this time. We've got the Avalanche and G2. Well,
I don't know if Bacon touched on this or not, and I'm not 100% sure. But I don't think we've seen G2 in the finals thus far.
Yeah, I think this will be a massive win for them if they make it into the finals. And we could see from the votes, 52% for Snow Avalanche, 48% for G2 Esports. That's a very narrow margin. People are just so conflicted right now.
Such conflicted opinions out there right now. We see Snow Avalanche aggressive movements with the Kentusik on this Glaive Bastion on this Lance. We've seen a lot more Lance in the jungle position overall, I think, but definitely, like, if you can play this in the roam position, you're gonna get a lot of work done.
I think the jungle Lance works so well, and I actually think it might prefer it even to the roam Lance. I feel like it does a lot of damage, and especially if you can land it like that.
Well, there you go. Chop down. There is no chance to get away there. Dark Potato is gonna be on the Sky this game, but every time that G2 draft this guy and it doesn't go to Redix, I start to worry.
Yeah, it's kind of feel like, we recognize Redix, he is a signature, but Bastion getting right there.
Nice Uri strike from Dark Potato to just reposition right over the wall and into that lane. He's going to go ahead and hold it, get a little bit of gold there until Redix is back. As much as I say I kind of question Redix not having this guy, he has got a lot of work done on this Adagio, so nothing to really worry about. It's just historically he's had such great games when he's able to get that Sky and just carry in the late game.
Yeah, he's certainly been playing a lot of Adagio in the past weekend here, and I've got to say, I don't know if this double Crystal combo will work, and I'm gonna bring attention to this Crystal Sky being played by Dark Potato. Are we gonna see the plays being made by Dark Potato that we would normally see on Redix? I don't know, but I would certainly hope so.
I think Dark Potato is definitely capable of making those plays. Just when I have the chance to talk with him, he says he does tend to prefer the Krolls, the kind of tanky frontliners that can get up their bruisers, but they can also do damage. So it's a little bit of a different playstyle with Sky. You want to fight from range, you want to fight around your cooldowns, and you can't get up there. You don't have an ability to give yourself a barrier or anything like that.
Yeah, I definitely see that. He's a lot more vulnerable. And what I'm excited by is Waldemar and the Scarf yesterday in their game against their sister team, Snow Tsunami. His Scarf was on point, and I'm hoping to see the same again today, right now. This series.
Right now, here, this series?
Yes.
How many kilometers will it take before he comes online, Xingyi?
500.
500. Oh, I'll never forget. I will never forget. But I think like Waldemar's Scarf up against Adagio, it actually feels like that's pretty decent matchup for him. Like a not so mobile target like Adagio, easy to land your Spitfires.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I actually think this is a very good matchup because you're exactly right. Redix and Waldemar, this Adagio and this Scarf combination, they both have this heavy poke. They can both do a lot of harassment in the lane, and it just depends on who's got more mechanically talented, who can lay down more damage on the other. Dark Potato.
Kentusik stuns up Dark Potato, a Suri Strike to reposition. Forward Barrage is not going to land, and you definitely need it to if you're going to 1v1 this Glaive. Kentusik is chasing, but does not have his boots. Looks like he wants to cancel off. Well, that's going to be the Impale from Bastion, stunned into the wall. 1 damage, 2 basic attacks, and he is dead. Now let's see if Dingo can find the kill here. It's going to be Kentusik with the Afterburn right over the top. Dingo not trying to be stunned up. Felt like he could have gone legendary status and tried to find the kill there. You're going to die
Dingo,
anyway!
Come on!
Oh, Dingo! You can't have that one back.
You can't have that one back. Come on, teleport in there, a fool!
Get in there. Get that kill, right?
Get that kill, yeah. He could, you know, he easily could have followed up. Maybe being a little bit too cautious. He lost his life.
It's just like a heartbreak though for Dingo. You go back, I don't know how many, like 5 patches ago, 4 patches ago.
Longer than that.
I don't know, but when they decrease the range on that Vanguard, like in the past, he might have been able to get in there and get the Vanguard off onto Dark Potato. So I wonder, like, was that a miscommunication from Dark Potato and Dingo to not realize that you had the Ardent rotating? Yeah, well, we'll hold that. Impale's gonna land. It's going to be damage coming out onto Redix, but he is able to get away, so he'll heal himself up, just stay in this lane.
I like the instantaneous goop. You know, we saw the Impale, and then we saw the goop and the Spitfire. Redix took a lot of damage, but he's going to be healing the minions just to try and farm a little bit better at the risk of just staying a little bit lower health.
Yeah, definitely. It's all about just calculating what you can do here in the lane, and these guys the best at doing so.
Definitely, and we're seeing a lot of aggression coming out from Avalanche right now. I feel, you know, we're seeing really nice rotations coming here. I think we're going to see some pressure being added onto that turret.
Well, look at these double flares coming out. That's miscommunication. G2 is going to have to start cleaning up these calls because Snow Avalanche with a Scarf, who you know is a super late game hero, able to take a turret down in the first 5 minutes of this game. Things not looking that great for G2.
Yeah, well, his heroic perk, you know, he's definitely going to be landing those flames, that Spitfire onto the turret, so it's pretty easy to keep that heroic perk going. And actually, if Scarf gets a chance, he can push down a turret very easily, even in the early game. But when it comes into those late game fights, that Scarf, he's going to be a monster, not just the baby dragon that we see right now.
Not just the baby dragon. Well, we
He's
know
more than that.
As you get into the late game, you do not want to deal with the Scarf. Bastion uses boots to get into a good position, not able to steal that Treant away. But Snow Avalanche are here, invading deep. Another Crimea situation potentially. Let's see if they can get it. They are very low. Fountain forced out of Bastion. Spitfires over the wall. G2 want to chase this, but they have no ability to lock these guys down. Dingo is definitely going to need to get level 6. It's the there he goes! Impale right there. Can they follow up on this? Death from above is going to land on the Kentusik. The Afterburn defensively. Suri Strike, Dark Potato. Well, you go right back where you came from.
Oh, they're going.
Stuns him, knocks him back. How is nobody dead after that?
I don't understand. You know, one time it looked like Snow Avalanche was going to take, and then it looked like G2. This is a fight. And you know what? Redix, his heal, he really came in, helped Dark Potato heal back up there. But there's no follow-up. They're just going to go back like nothing ever happened. Redix, watch your positioning. Watch it.
Watch your position.
Watch it!
Can someone get Shing East for makes the shot goals for these teams? Dragon's Breath comes out just for style points. Waldemar, you know, he's a very stylish man. He's going to go ahead and let that out. Just let G2 know, hey, I've skilled it up. I've got it.
They've got it. You know, Redix, he got this one, and you'd calm myself. But we're seeing the counter invade. Very cheeky move coming out from Snow Avalanche here. Very cheeky.
Very cheeky indeed. Well, Waldemar on the Scarf yesterday, he went for the Frostburn into Eve build, and it appears that he's going to do the same thing. He was skipping Broken Myth, and we haven't seen a lot of players do that. It worked out for him yesterday. Will it work out here?
You know, you have to consider, if he does the same thing, maybe if G2 invested in a lot of very early shield, they could actually mitigate a lot of the damage, prevent him from getting to that point where he can pick up the Broken Myth and just shut him down.
Shut him down. But they're going to have to close that gap. They're going to have to get on his face. It's going to be harder for Redix to do so, but Dingo, Dark Potato can get into the back lines pretty easy. Well, let's see if they're able to find those opportunities. 3-0 in favor of Snow Avalanche. 7.5 minutes into this game. An immense gold payout's going to come through for Snow as well. So they're just building up on this net worth lead. Nice vision coming out of Bastion as well. It looks like they're just going to move forward here, wait for some person to get out of position, someone that they can afterburn backwards, someone that they can impale. Combat roll Bastion, just smacks him with the Githian wall. No respect here.
So much peel coming outside. And look at the harass coming down onto Dingo and Dark Potato, actually. With Dark Potato, he's not doing all right. But, you know, I feel like Dark Potato, he's a little bit isolated from the rest of us, just a little bit, actually.
Well, that's the gauntlet down. That's what we were talking about before. But to get the wall right there, well, rest in peace. Dark Potato. Dragon's Breath coming out of Waldemar. Everything going the way of Snow Avalanche. Dingo, you're not going to be able to get out of this one, buddy. He's dead, but the verse out of Redix, can he turn around and find a kill? Yes, he can. That's the first kill for G2. Redix showing signs of life here. That's a very tough situation for G2 Esports.
That was a nice burst of judgment coming out there from Redix. Not quite enough there to save Dingo or even Dark Potato, actually. But, you know, he did his best. He picked up the kill, and that kill is what they need right now. I think we need to see a little bit more coordinated fights. At the start of that fight, we saw Dingo and Dark Potato doing their own thing. They were, you know, getting isolated, knowing Snow Avalanche were there. That's something you don't want to be making, especially this early on.
Definitely, you do not want to be making that. It's just from my perspective, like, it felt like it was a very straightforward situation. And you see the gauntlet go down, and I'm wondering, like, what did G2 see that I'm not seeing? But immediately, Snow just take advantage of that situation.
You know, it was a nice gauntlet. You know, it could have been a nice gauntlet, but what was really nice coming out from Snow Avalanche, we saw the Githian wall pushing Dingo and Dark Potato, stunning them into the wall there behind them. That was really nicely done. And actually, Dark Potato, he didn't have much time to recover.
But it's not like these walls are just spawning out of thin air. This is the map that they've always played on, right? Like, the wall's been there the whole time. If you're going to drop that gauntlet, if you're going to stand in that position, you have to know that's going to come out.
Is it reality? Is it fantasy? We don't know. G2 don't know, it seems, in that last fight there. But I want to see this coordination coming out from them. They've got a lot of damage. Dingo just get in their faces, allow Redix to heal you. But right now, this just seems they're a little bit too cautious. We're seeing Avalanche being very, very aggressive right now. They're the ones making the plays. They're shutting G2 down.
Yeah, they definitely are. But as we look at, you know, the composition that G2 have, we've talked about Scarf on the flip side. You know, he's going to scale incredibly well. Dark Potato is going to be doing a lot of damage as time goes on. Well, Kentusik able to take away the mid there. Very nice for him. And they're just going to continue to push and pressure with this this pickup. But Redix on the Adagio, Dark Potato on the Sky, they are going to scale pretty well.
They are going to scale pretty well. And the problem for them is kind of similar to the game we saw between Team Seeker and Gangstars, is can they get onto Waldemar? Because Waldemar, he's got this peel for him. He's got this great afterburn that comes out. He's got this impale, Githian wall. So much there. Like that impale right there.
Well, Dark Potato rooted, but it doesn't matter. Bastion eating a bit of damage. Death from above is not going to land. That's the gauntlet. Snow Avalanche are trapped inside. Or is it G2? Who's trapped inside with who? Redix! He's going to go down. Scarf able to find the kill. Double kill. Waldemar Scarf just doing work right now. No broken myth needed, apparently, on this hero. And Dark Potato's going to get stunned up. Can you find the damage? Almost taking Dark Potato down for the ace. But that's going to be a turret going their way. And Snow Avalanche, I guess they're just like, what? Can we get a Kraken? They're
unstoppable. They can't. They have to wait 4 minutes. But they could win 4 minutes. I feel that in these fights, G2, we're seeing Dingle throwing in this gauntlet. And it's not working out well for them. Because what's happening?
Down view, though. Oh.
Beautiful. Let's just take a minute to appreciate this.
Soak it in.
Okay.
Keep going. No.
But yeah, so he throws in this gauntlet, and what's happening is Snow Avalanche is just turning on its head. They're taking advantage of the situation. You know, normally gauntlets, you're like, oh no, this is bad. We need to get out. What they're doing is they're turning it around. They're knocking Dark Potato in. They're knocking Dark Dingo back. They're stunning him. They're taking advantage of this enclosed space that actually G2 are very liberal to use.
I definitely agree with you. And well, I love Dingo. I think he's an incredible player. I'm questioning a few of these gauntlet calls thus far. I'd rather see him look to isolate or separate a target. Now Bastion moves in so aggressively, 1 versus 3, no respect there. But his team is a little bit split apart. Death from above comes down, not going to be landing. Waldemar finding damage onto his opponents right now. Redix eating a little bit. Waldemar channels that ultimate. It's going to come through, but the verse cancels that. Oh, whoa, no, it does actually land. Canceled off. Waldemar moving backwards, a lot of damage. They find the kill onto Redix, and it's just Snow Avalanche once again taking this fight. Dark Potato, can he find the kill? Yes, he can, but he goes down. He's going to find that shutdown, so a bit of gold into his pocket. Snow Avalanche still with that net worth lead and in a great position where they can move right back through this jungle. They can take away these camps, assuming that Dingo's not going to go down here.
Oh, I think he might.
Dingo? Rooted in place after burn and kill. That's the ace. Redix was just about to respawn. It's a disaster for G2.
Oh, an absolute disaster. The tears must be pouring down their face right now. What went so wrong in that last fight? Well, you know, they were doing so well picking up Waldemar. They almost got him down, but that Eve coming in from the Dragon's Breath, they just gave him like half his health back. And at that point, they really had to focus on his energy. We could see Redix pouring everything he could, and he lost his life for it. He did.
He's pouring everything. He needs a larger container.
He really does. I think.
He poured it out. It was not enough. Snow Avalanche. What a dominant performance this game. And Oh, it makes me feel good to see this kind of performance. I love G2, but it's so great to see Snow Avalanche performing like this, because you look back in the beginning, as soon as they came out of the Challenger Series, I was talking to Jackson, and I was like, I think this is a top 3 team easy. And he was like, yeah, but they came through Challenger Series, right? Like, these aren't the Evil 8 teams. I said, just wait, dude. You can definitely see this as potentially one of the top 3 teams. I think they could potentially even knock off Secret if they're playing well enough, and they are showing it here.
Oh, they have definitely. I mean, the first week they came back from Challengers. They made it into the finals of Evil 8 on their first week, an incredible feat. And it's not easy. They came up against Team Secret. They may have lost, but G2 this time, they are looking on fire right now. They've already pushed them back to the choke point turret, and look at the aggression coming out from them.
And Snow is on fire right now. It doesn't make sense, but it is working. Dark Potato and crew are pinned down at this choke point turret. Now it does make this a little bit harder to continue the pressure, to continue the push. Do you think they look to take this turret down? Do they just wait it out for Kraken and then go?
There certainly seem to be, I don't think they're trying to take down the Kraken, they're just making sure G2 stay in their spot, clearing out the jungle each time, so that even when they do leave, G2 don't have an opening to try and get any farm. And actually, despite all that, the CS between the two teams is actually remarkably similar. Redix isn't that far behind. Dark Potato isn't that far behind either. He's actually out farming Kensiesic for somehow. I don't quite understand how this is working.
My world is upside down.
My world is upside down. Everyone's world is upside down. And these it's still close.
Devil's advocate. Well, actually, Bastion, he's just a demon over here. 1 versus 3. Does this guy have any fear at all? It's like just channeling Von C over here. Bastion just making. Look at, they're backing up right now. Bastion, dude, he's just flexing on G2. Oh my God! Someone make some memes out of this for me. Bastion, you are just a lord.
Oh, definitely. And Impale's gonna hit.
Yep, Impale's gonna hit. Redix rooted up, nothing to follow. Doesn't matter. Does Bastion even need teammates at this point? He just stands over there, and G2 afraid to come out of the base. A lot of that has got to be coming down to vision, right? Like, G2 don't actually know where the rest of Snow Avalanche are, so they have to respect it.
Yeah, they really don't. We can see how much vision Bastion has laid down just in the jungle of G2. Dingo, he does have that contraption, but he seems a little bit more kind of focused on kind of keeping that zone clear. He's not kind of using it to follow up, but he might want some vision now as Snow Avalanche are starting that Kraken, potentially a game-ending push here.
Yeah, well, if they capture this, I think things are going to get even rougher for G2. Snow Avalanche, they're going to pull that Kraken right back into that Tribe Rush. And there's no way that they move in to contest that. Kraken unleashed. Snow Avalanche going to get that region up, move forward. Everybody infused. This is going to be a heroic effort out of G2 if they're going to be able to stop this Kraken and the push coming out of Snow.
Well, it's double crystal here coming up for them. They've got a lot of damage. They've got the range. They're certainly trying to take down that Kraken as long as they stay clear of Waldemar's Spitfires. It could potentially be, a promising defense there coming up. But Redix, need to watch your positioning. He's been caught one too many times. Yeah,
well, Redix, you're not Sky. You can't first strike and get out of there. Oh, rest in peace, Redix. We love you, but you are so dead. Gauntlets down. Man, just buying them about a half a second there. Dingo and Potato, they're going to try and get a little bit of damage down, but I think they realize that this is quite the uphill battle. Bastion is low, but holding a Crucible and a Fountain. Xingyi, I don't think there's any way that G2 can defend this. Redix is up in 8 seconds. 8 seconds right there. Yeah, well, whatever.
Origin slip. There we go.
Chunking through this Vein Crystal turret. Only one remaining. Redix boots into the back line. Self-heals. Does he have that burst available? Yes, he does, but he's not going to let it loose. Waldemar gets that Fountain. Burst comes out. It doesn't land. Redix, he's trying to get that damage off into the back line.
There's a Kraken!
Dusik, can he live? Yes, he can. There is a Kraken. They're going to have to deal with this at some point. They turn their attention over, and it looks like they can be able to get this, but Bastion gets down in there. They're trying to deal with all of these little minions flying around. It's not enough. No, Avalanche going to take game 1 in this best-of-3 series.
In a defiant victory. Defiant is the only word I can use.
It was such a hectic little fight there at the end. It's like, who do you focus?
The Kraken?
You
the
gotta,
team?
And they're all spread apart. Like, it wasn't a team fight. Everybody's just taking their own positions, and Look At Me moves over, lets them know, hey, boys, I'm proud of you.
Well, G2, they've still got another 2, potentially another 2 games to go. Can they bring out the bag? Can they get that needed victory over Snow Avalanche right now? Those are the questions that we're all asking.
These are the questions indeed. And Team Snow, I mean, they look pretty cool, calm, and collected right there. Just having a little talk, make sure, I'm sure there were some small mistakes they made. They'll try to correct those going into game
Indeed.
2. But let's go ahead and throw it back to Forecourt Jester and our analyst to break that down for us.
But they're not using it here.
No, they're feeling pretty confident with the lineup they have right now. And I'd have to say, after the day 1 performance, Dark Potatoes really stepped it up coming into day 2 and now the very important semifinals. But as we do get into the draft, we see Samuel come off once again. No Samuel roam lane or jungle, and then his poor mother as well is banned out of this game. So no family matchup here.
Yeah, well, there can still be the family matchup with Arden, Celeste, and Vox, but I somehow feel like we're not going to be seeing that combo.
I don't want to see that combo.
There is going to be the Scarf once again coming out, but this time it's for G2.
Yeah, this is actually quite different. I'm surprised G2 isn't kind of going back to some of those Fortress things we saw before. Like, that's really what got them here, I would say. Those surprise kind of aggression mid and late game
Yeah, Contusik going to be looking to make some work on that Scarf.
picks, but with the Finn coming on board, they do deny Snow Avalanche the protection there. There is an option here for Kroll or Arden coming in, and we do see that heavy front line once again for Avalanche with Weldemar in the back.
Mentioned it plenty of times before. I really like Kroll into Scarf. Yes, you do have to run at him. Yes, he can slow you down, but if you are able to get onto Scarf and stick on him, you can just negate that late game power so well. But a Kestrel being added to the mix as well, this could now make it a rough time.
We just turn it up. That's all you can do. Turn up, chat. Let's go. We are into the game right now. The battle has begun. We flipped things on their heads just a little bit. We're going to see Waldemar on the Adagio this game. Redix on the Scarf. Why is there so much priority on the Scarf here in EO?
Actually, well, Scarf, he does a lot. I think he's been, we've really not seen him that much in the last season. And actually, he's still quite strong, especially if he gets kind of the ability to get the damage on Redix. Redix, he's kind of suffering a little bit to Waldemar. But let's not forget, Redix, he was one of the best Scarves. We've not seen it well from him. And this should be a fantastic match.
Oh, I cannot wait to get things going here. What was crazy for me in game number 1 is that Scarf actually had a very strong early game impact. And I don't know if that was misplays out of G2. It was just Snow Avalanche finding a way to make it work. Passion making the rotation up, finds the impale. Contusik, Deadman's Rush forward. Oh, it gets that Spectral Smite and a first blood right to start things off in this game.
Yeah, and this is the power of that Lance and that Cruel together in the early game. So Cruel, he does not have the best early game, but what he has is that ganking potential. We've seen it being used by a lot of the teams to great effect. We saw that really nice impale coming from Bastion, and then the follow-up kind of Deadman's Rush there from Contusik. And
Dingo doing a nice job to hold the lane here, so it's not going to be Redix missing out too many of these lane minions. I just have to worry, is there a miscommunication on G2? Because if for the reason that Dingo and Dark Potato teleported back to base, they completely avoided the first rotation, then Redix has to know that you maybe have that rotation coming out of Snow Avalanche instead of in the jungle, and it goes to the lane. But he was not positioned in that way.
He was still quite under his tower, but it was still in a good position for Snow Avalanche to take the gank there. And at this point, you cannot do on Dingo babysitting, and we're seeing that right now, and this is something I'm a big fan of. I want him to be babysitting Redix because we're seeing a lot of pressure being put on by Avalanche.
Big fan of babysitting, or in this game specifically?
This game specifically.
Just clarifying.
Well, what we're seeing here, we're seeing Waldemar, he's being very aggressive, he's being very forward, and actually we're not seeing Redix or Dingo taking advantage of this, but also look at Bastion, he's coming in for the flank, and this is potentially something G2 could turn around.
Yeah, I really like what Bastion was doing. He doesn't have to actually fully face check the bush right there, and Dingo, he knows that Dingo's hanging out there. Are you kidding me? Waldemar finding the kill, but Waldemar walks right into the quibble. Can they get enough damage onto Waldemar? The scout trap is no, it's not enough. Dingo is on the chase, but this is a slow moving Finn. Cannot find the kill there. 2-0 in favor of Snow Avalanche. Now Bastion and Contusik able to take the mid away as well. We talked about why that is so good.
It's so good.
Why is it so good?
It's so good. You know why? That impale. Redix, he's quite slow moving. He's got the journey, not the journey. Sorry. He's got the boots, but it's not going to be helping him too much. He's still quite a slow-moving hero, and it's very easy to land those impales. It does a lot of base damage. He's got a weapon. We can see how much it just did there, but Redix, he's going to get away.
Redix is eating so much damage up in this lane now. G2 are going to have to find a different approach here because Bastion has been moving up, landing his impales, and Waldemar has been abusing the early game power of this Adagio in the lane in one-on-one situation. Now he's going to get a bit of damage out onto Dingo. Dingo turns around, lands the Quibble. Just doing that babysitting in lane that you are so hyped on.
I'm so okay. I'm reasonably hyped about the babysitting. It's just something that I think is necessary for G2 to do to withstand the pressure. And in the last game, when Avalanche had the Scarf, they applied the good pressure, but look at the pressure coming out from Avalanche.
Yeah, Vin lets out that woohoo, because of course he cannot be stunned up. Polite Company, it's going to give him a little bit more durability there in the lane. Looks like Redix is just forced to just teleport back home, and well, he's actually going to hang around. But if he wants to shop, it's essentially a battle royale for him. He's going to have to die, and I mean, because you don't want to. If you teleport back, you're going to have pressure on your turret instantly, right?
Yeah, definitely. And Dingo, he's taking a lot of pressure. And how many times can I say the word pressure in 2 minutes? People will have to find out. I hope people are counting their pressure, under pressure, all kinds of pressure. But Dingo, he's lost a lot of health, and Waldemar, he's actually not lost many. And this is not a good idea from G2. We need Dark Potato to come to lane to protect it, because it could be that tower going down in the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dark Potato had teleported to base right before Redix, so this is going to be almost boots forced to activate to get it back out there. So Redix buys the boots, but has to use them right to get back to lane. Dingo taking a lot of damage. Turret is sitting on very low health right now. So no Avalanche just able to apply incredible pressure early on in this game. Now, as we look at the way that these teams scale from where I'm sitting, I think G2 have a slight edge, but how much is it?
I think G2, they need to keep that first tower. That first tower is vital because they don't want Avalanche taking advantage of, well, the jungle, but never mind.
Never mind. Turret's down. Waldemar's going to go ahead and secure that. So things are just going to get harder and harder for Redix to try and find farm. If he wants to farm in the lane, hopefully it's going to be pushed back towards his side. They have not claimed that minion mine just yet on their own side. Well, there you go.
Yeah, look at them. They know us. They know what we're thinking. And
we know what they're thinking.
Yeah, I think that works better. And one thing that Snow Avalanche have done really well is the vision. We're seeing Dingo trying to put it down, but currently I feel like Avalanche, they've laid a little bit more down. They've got more kind of strategically placed scout traps that really puts G2 at a disadvantage here. And you know, we don't see Redix moving out too far. They're beginning to push forward again, and you know, I feel like Redix's Scarf, you know, if you watch any of his previous games from previous seasons, his Scarf is very, very good. But all comes into the late game for him. He's not as aggressive in the early game as, you know, Waldemar's was.
Does he do anything specific with the Scarf that makes him that good? Or is it just, he just kind of does your standard Scarf plays to a pretty high level?
He does a very high level. He's very good at the kiting. He's good at those strategically placing. He's excellent at hitting those Spitfires and just chasing up those kills. And I feel like a lot of people aren't as good as that. You know, they don't watch out for like their awareness of where the other enemies are.
Right.
And he knows how to position himself. But right now, they need to have, you know, up their defense right now. They've lost that first turret. Their rotation was a little bit off, allowing them to lose it. And Bastion, well, he's a Demon Lord. Demon
Lord Bastion just flexing like always. And until the guy gets killed, why not just keep doing it? I mean, if it's working for you, don't change. And Kentusik has his ultimate right now. Dark Potato does not have a reflex block. Redix does have one, but I think like if that comes out of the bush, it's going to be quite hard to block off. And I think if Dark Potato gets stunned up, he's definitely going to go down.
There was a lot of Cruels played yesterday, and one thing that I noticed the opposing teams were very bad at was actually blocking the From Hell's Heart, and many of those came from a very long distance, meaning that they were stunned for a very long time. And that was something I just felt like the teams weren't very good at blocking for. They weren't. I didn't see any body blocks coming, and actually Dingo on that Finn, he's in a perfect position to try and take that sword, and I hope he does it this time because I didn't see it much yesterday.
Just take that sword, huh?
Just take it.
Well, he'll try to body block up those abilities the best he can. That's one of the greatest things, having a Finn on your team, right? Yeah,
that he's so immune. You know, he's immune to all those debuffs there, and there's certainly a few that, you know, that would certainly help his whole team there.
Is that medical talk? So immune?
No, I think that's actually in the description of the hero.
Well, I figured you get past immune. It's just so incredibly immune. I teased. I kid you. Waldemar, Bastion just continue to apply lane pressure here. G2. One of the results of applying so much pressure is that Redix actually should be able to farm pretty easily, right?
Yeah, definitely. And one thing, we saw, in the early game, we saw Team Secret and Gangstars, and now we're seeing Snow Avalanche and G2. They're both pushing, but they're doing it in very different ways. And I feel like Team Secret, they're picking when to, push. They were like, we're going to keep our minions here, and when we want to push, we'll push it. Whereas Snow Avalanche, I feel like they're keeping that constant flow of minions going into Redix, and that might not necessarily be a good thing, because Redix, he's still a little bit behind Waldemar in terms of CS, but that certainly can be changed in the next few minutes.
Oh, it definitely can. One major team fight going their way, things will turn around, but Snow, they've got a nice little net worth lead that they're building upon. It's continuous accumulation of resources across the map. This is going to be a decent gold payout going their way. They'll go ahead and move right back up, push this lane out. They're taking at least the mid camps every single time they're spawning, and that's exactly what you want to do if you're Snow.
Yeah, and this is kind of similar to the last game, and I don't want G2 to fall into this trap again. What we saw was Snow Avalanche, they were consistently taking that gold mine. Even if it wasn't that fill, they'll still be getting a decent amount from it. And
Dark Potato stunned up is the follow. Bastion misses the impale. Is it going to be a mashed potato? No, forced the cord. Thank you, Dingo. Redix winds up that ultimate, but it's not going to be landing on anybody. One shot, one kill tickles the Demon Lord himself. He moves forward, no fear. Waldemar heals him up, just having that alternating current going to town on Redix. Redix is dead. They're looking for Dark Potato. Spectral Smite activated. Do they go for this ace right here? It looks like they're going to be able to get it. Do they even care about turrets? What are turrets? Are they even working right now? Dingo, you're dead. That's the ace. Snow Avalanche. Apparently they don't care about anything.
Yeah, so we're going to see that fight again. Bastion, he's going to get hit by that one shot, one kill coming out any second there. Look at that goop there. Redix goes down, and Dark Potato, he's not going to make it out. And I think I just did it after the one shot, one kill. But Dingo, they are diving so deep onto the tower. We could hear from the height from Humanist. This is a big moment. I mean, what are turrets? Dingo, this is just a dead river troll right now. There is no hope. And it's 5-0 on the board.
Did Snow pay off the turrets for G2? I see them hitting them, but it's not doing that much. I know, okay, the Lance is incredibly tanky, right? So yeah, he's eating a couple of those. They traded off into Contusic. He's got a barrier. He has the ability to heal himself up. And Waldemar just hangs out on the backside and has that gift of fire to drop on them as well. Snow Avalanche, they're just playing so incredibly well. It is great to see here.
It's fantastic. And G2, they need to be careful right now. That fight did not go the best, actually. That's what I mean. Dark Potato, he needs that reflex block, or he needs Dingo to body block for him. But this is what happens when you have two very, very volatile, very high damage carries, such as Redix and Dark Potato there. Dingo can't body block for the both of them.
No, he can't.
They need that reflex. Both of them need that reflex block, and they need to be able to block it, for goodness sake.
Well, okay. Let's theory craft. How do they start to win these fights? Is it just time? Is it items? Combination of both?
Well, actually, Snow Avalanche, what we're seeing a lot from them, especially when they have a cruel, is they're engaging with that from Hell's Heart. And if it hits, they've got fantastic follow-up. They've got the impel. Waldemar can, boots in and put his Verso Judgment on. They've done that a few times in this game and in the past games. And if you're able to stop that from Hell's Heart, stop that very, very long stun, you could certainly swing things around. All you have to do is just reposition for after blocking it,
right.
Reposition, allow Redix to build up those broken mid stacks, because that's the first tier 3 item he's gone for, and that puts him in a very good position to fight back. They've got so much poke. I'm not seeing that poke right now. I'm
not seeing that poke either, and Redix has the more typical Scarfield coming on. He's got the Broken Myth, probably building into an Eve next. It really depends which way he wants to go. Potentially the Frostburn, depending on the items that he's picked up here, but Snow Avalanche moving aggressively, looking to find someone out of position. I feel like G2 actually have to pull off a bit of a wombo combo right now. Yeah, Redix, he's so far forward right now, and Avalanche, they're gonna, if they go straight up, they're gonna be caught in the middle, and this is the opportunity. This is it. Okay, the active camo's down. Does Dingo try to throw this force to cord, land the combo?
He says nay.
Do it! He says nay. Well, there are horses, because this is the farm right here. Dark Potato with the glimmer shots. He does get that Treant right there, but the rest of the backs will be taken by Snow Avalanche. This is just no mercy out of them thus far. 5-0, 12.5 minutes into this game. If things continue to go this way, it's just going to be another fight into Kraken, into push. The G2 are going to have to try to make some plays here, and they don't have too much longer to try.
They really don't. And, you know, this is I was on this point earlier. Oh, are they going to? They're not going to steal it. Never mind. Going back to what I was saying before, they're doing this a lot. They're taking that gold mine. We're not seeing any challenge coming from G2, which may or may not be a good thing. And what's happening is that gold difference is just slowly increasing. 12 minutes, 13 minutes. There's 5k gold difference now between the two teams. And last time that difference just increased too much, that G2. There was very little chance of them coming back from this, and I'm concerned.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if G2 can win a fight and push a turret down, push 2 turrets down, that's a huge swing of gold in the opposite direction, right? So there are these money bags just sitting in the lane, but you are going to have to win a fight to be able to collect on them. Bastion moves forward into the bush, clears out the scout traps. He's done a really good job thus far to just get vision down, make sure that G2 are denied any flares come out. Dingo's gonna know that there's a scout trap in that bush. But right here, I really feel it's got to be forced cord into an active camo. They're going to have to catch someone out. What's crazy, and this is the same thing last game, Snow realized that G2 have no vision. And so they're essentially putting themselves in a situation where if they get caught, it's 2v3 and they lose the fight. But G2 don't know that.
They don't.
They don't. Like, you had Curl on the complete opposite side of the map farming right now.
I mean, what's one thing they could do? You'd have Dingo just kind of slowly creeping down into their side, throw a flare out to see if they're coming. If they're not there, great. Clear out the scout traps and just continue to do this. They need to regain that part of the jungle because right now they don't. And Kensik, his farm, his CS is 69. Dark Potato, 54. Not that big of a difference, but if you look at the overall gold, it's making an impact. You want to stop that right now. Just stop it in its tracks and just chain together the skills like you were saying.
That's the hardest thing, though. It doesn't happen every time. It's a very low chance that you're going to actually land that wombo combo. But this is the position that G2 have been forced into. Now we have Kraken coming up in 30 seconds. Does Redix look to pick up an infusion, or is he saving towards his next item?
You know what? An infusion would not be a bad shot right now. That reflex block, you know, all he has to do is block that from Hell's Tower and just stay well behind. Dingo is their front line, and the same for Dark Potato as well. We want to just see them building up those breaking point stacks, see them building up the broken myth stacks, and once they've got like as many as possible, that's a very good opportunity for them to fight.
All right, there is not much time left out on this map. G2 need to make some plays. This is quite a tense moment on the map. There she is in all her glory. Kraken spawns. If Snow take 1 kill, they can move over, and they don't even need to take a kill.
They're having a YOLO war treads.
YOLO war treads. And look at this. I mean, she's going to be captured up quite quickly. Look at the damage coming out. G2 have to know this is going on right now. They're going to make the decision. Do we get in there? Or do we just sit back and try to farm her when she comes down the lane?
You know, I feel like G2, they've been way too passive over the past 15 minutes and maybe even the past game as well. And I want them to see this little bit of spark. I want to see G2 fighting back because they fight so well when their back is against the wall. And right now I feel like they've just lost that spirit.
Oh my goodness gracious. G2 with their backs against the wall. If you lose one person right here, it's almost GG. We need a perfect combo out of G2. I want to go ham on this. Redix is going to teleport back. What's he going to get right here? Is he just healing up, making sure he gets all the energy? He completed the Eve. He has the items he needs right here to be that monster scarf. He is starting to reach his final form. I mean, the Kraken taking pretty good damage. Bastion moves forward. A Githian wall. That's the Dragon spread out of Redix. I don't know about that one right there. Dangerous, but from Hell's Heart lands onto Redix. The Atlas does go down, buying a time. Waldemar with the burst comes out. Big damage, but they are trading back and forth. The Fountain keeps Snow Avalanche in fighting shape. But remember, Shingy, as you would say, there's a Kraken. Dingo moves back, burning with his gift of fire. He ticks down, but it is the kill by Dark Potato. They've traded 2 for 1 to their advantage. This is the first fight going the way of G2. I don't know if Snow forced this fight or if G2 just played it well. What do you think?
They were so intent on taking down Dark Potato and Dingo there. They're like focusing all of their energy onto Dingo. Actually, they didn't know Redix. He had moved himself into perfect position to try and take down Waldemar, and that was the opening they need. Once they get on Waldemar, Bastion and Kensik, they're easy.
They're easy?
Yeah.
Dang.
They're easy.
Okay, well, apparently, Shinny is saying it. This is the Savage caster over here calling him out.
You're the Savage caster.
No, I am not Savage. I don't do Savage. Impale's gonna miss Bastion. Throws out that Githian wall, just slaps Redix, lets him know, hey, bro, I'm here.
You know, this is a really good opportunity for G2 right now. They've had a slight comeback. They've picked up 2 kills. They got rid of the Kraken. They still have all their turrets. This is a really good opportunity for them to try and clear out the sky traps. There's so many right now, and if they can establish some vision of their own, that will be really important because otherwise we're going to see the same scenario repeating, that same Kraken coming out, the same push, and we don't want that.
No, you do not want that. But the way everything's going in this game, and I'm looking at items, looking at the composition that G2 have here. Now, Dark Potato, I think he's actually in a really good place to get massive damage out if he does not get burst down early in this fight. Oh, G2, did you not realize? Did you not realize? No Avalanche right here. Oh, it's not going to land. Now they're going to pull Contustic away. Redix, you need to get some life steal. Somebody heal Redix. He's healing up. Then they get him. G2 are doing it.
Oh my God,
G2 are doing it. No Avalanche are down. They get the ace. Right there. G2 back in this game. This is going to be 1-2 turrets map control. They'll be able to clear out the scout traps as well. You hear the crowd. G2. G2.
They're turning around. Look at that. That is the moment that Redix blocked that from Hellstar. This is the moment where he turns around. He gets 3 broken mid stacks and they take down Waldemar. So important. And that Dragon's Breath is doing so much work there for the regen.
Oh, my heart.
Beautiful.
My heart can't take this.
Be still our beating hearts.
Look at that 3 turrets off the back of that.
They're ahead in gold now. Look at that 1.3 kilometers.
They were just, those turrets are just money bags, just sitting in the lane. Like we were talking about, if you win a fight, you're going to be able to push down, take those, suddenly leading in net worth with a late game composition. Oh, what do you realize there's a scout trap?
No!
Redix, he's been stunned up. They drop the goop, turns around the Spitfire, Dark Potatoes reposition. Dark Potato needs to get these broken mid stack. Or the
don't run,
stacks
Redix,
up.
turn back.
Redix, turn, get that damage down. Dark Potato, he's locked on the Waldemar. Waldemar's dead. It's Dark Potato finding massive damage on this Kestrel. Active camo, it's a double kill. G2! Kraken! They've lost everything in this game up to this point has been all Snow Avalanche. But G2 claw their way back into this game. This is a Kraken. They will be respawning right as soon as they get into this base.
The comeback is so real in this game right now. G2, you're bringing it back.
Krigasms galore.
This is it. They're going to finish the game. They're going to finish the game.
It's over.
Oh,
this game is over.
Third game hype.
They didn't even need the Kraken. They didn't even need the Kraken.
Oh, the Kraken. Oh, okay, please let me. Okay, this is it.
It was just a matter of time. G2, my goodness. Dingo's like, yeah, okay, we did it?
We did it. They did it.
Breathe. Just breathe.
Let's compose ourselves. And that.
I will not compose myself. I refuse.
Don't be.
That was nuts.
That was.
Woo.
And Potato to shine.
Yeah, and as far as who I think might win this one, it's all going to come down to this draft. I feel that's where it's been thus far. We've kind of looked at the drafts and said, oh, I feel like this team is going to have an advantage based on it. And it's been proven true. And oh, wow. Snow Avalanche saying, you know, at game 3, we are not going to give you a chance to run this Fortress composition. But
Double Hill comes out, though. I mean, when you ban one thing and you get to pick the other, there's a lot of questions and things kind of flying around, and Avalanche says, we're going to get rid of this Fortress. We're going to pick up the Double Hill. You no longer have the wounds to be able to keep us from healing effectively, and that's going to see us with the Arden pickup on side of G2 Esports, partnered with Samuel.
Yeah, still a couple of picks that can run really well with this Arden. I actually really do like the Samuel with Arden as well, and that could end up being what we have here. If Redix takes this Kestrel into the lane again, right now the hover from Snow Avalanche, though, if this goes through, it will be the 23rd unique pick of the Live Championships.
Yeah, this Black Feather coming through brings a little bit of question marks in the first.
Whatever.
All right, well, okay, sandwich and a Coke. We'll split them and have some lunch. Waldemar taking Black Feather to lane here. You got to break this down. Talk to me about this Black Feather. How is this going to work out? Is this the pick?
Well, we've seen one Black Feather in the NA Championships, and that was played by Cloud9. And that just didn't work. And what happened was, he was shut in very, very early. He used to be very, very popular, so good in lane. There's so much sustain as that gap closing ability was just incredible. But we just haven't seen that much Black Feather in ranked in tournament games.
Why would they pick him?
I feel like with that heal, if he gets loved, because we saw a lot of Black Feathers in the past being quite tanky. You get a Serpent's Mask, you get that breaking point, or even a Bone Saw, and just build tank. You've got those 2 healers in the back. That's going to keep you going. You're going to have that Serpent's Mask. That's also going to be doing a lot. He's a hero that can get right into Redix's face, right onto Dark Potato, and just deal a lot of damage. Bash and Kent, they're just like, we're just going to stay way back here. We're going to stay way back here, man. And I think that's what they're trying to do. I just don't know if it's going to work. with a Black Feather.
It is going to be tough. I mean, I guess if you have like active camo, you can Rose Offensive right past it into the back lines. You can also Rose Offensive over the gauntlet walls. Like those are always like very easy to do. We'll have to see. Like you said, if he can get a Serpent's Mask, become tanky, get a lot of damage. With this heal, he'll be able to sustain very well in these fights here. Bastion up in the lane, harassing very well with those basic attacks out onto Redix, but Dingo is here. If Redix gets in trouble, he'll drop that Vanguard, and I don't see Redix getting into any danger of dying.
You know, it's interesting, actually. Oh, wait, this could be interesting with what 3v2 situation going on with the two teams.
You think they're in danger of dying, though. Dark Potato with the Drifting Dark, he's going to let out the Malice and Verdict. Yes, it's a great harass tool, but unless no Avalanche just sit there and completely disrespect it, they should see that coming.
They really should. And what I was going to say before is actually really interesting. You know, we've got a Kestrel against this Black Feather in lane. I feel like Black Feather is a little bit weak in the first few minutes. And what should be happening is Redix should be shutting him down early. But he can't, and that's because of Bastion on that Lyra. That Lyra, her basic attacks, they do so much damage. You can really force Redix back, and we're seeing it being used very effectively here. And that's kind of negating the pressure that we normally be seeing G2 adding at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, like the way you said it. Compositionally, you shore up the early weakness out of Black Feather by taking Bastion in the lane on Lyra, who is so devastating early on. If she can move up, harass the opponent laner, I think they've done a great job thus far. So it means pretty much that you see the junglers left to their own devices, and Dark Potato and Contusik, they're really not trying to fight each other. Sometimes Dark Potato's made his way up to lane, but I don't know. Is there a point where they're going to start trying to trade one-on-one, or is it just going to be all about the lane here?
Right now, this is Bastion's strongest moment as a Roam Lyra. I genuinely do feel that Roam Lyra really does fall off in the late game. And actually, hang on a second.
Drifting Dark there, but Dark Potato, he's forced out of it. Backwards in first blood, there's no Avalanche. Oh my goodness, Waldemar almost falling, but the heals are so strong, keeping him alive. Now Dingo eating a bit of that damage. Redix still here. This buddy, he's going to get that Vanguard, so he's in still a pretty decent fighting shape. Waldemar and crew, the thing is, it's like the siege comps that we see so often with the double healing, but if you do not burst one of these targets down, between the Lyra, between the Adagio, they're just going to get healed right back up to full.
Exactly, and we also see Waldemar sitting there with that Book of Eulogies, and that's also definitely helping a lot. Oh, hang on a second, Dingo. No, never mind. I will carry on.
Carry on. Bastion able to secure that mid right there. Waldemar, of course, was pretty close to getting it, but they deny that away from G2. This is one of the greatest things that you can do when you're trying to apply pressure and take away from your opponent's map presence.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, we're seeing Snow Avalanche doing it to great effect here. And Redix, I think, just leaving a very defensive active camo there. But actually, I just want to point out, Waldemar was actually significantly out-farming Redix, but now Redix, we're beginning to see him catching up. And for me, this game, it seems to be a lot about the lane right now. We're seeing so much focus in the lane, and there goes the Bulwark. Yeah,
Bulwark is down, but they're really not respecting it. Active camo's down. That means they can't walk into that. Almost exploding. There you go, Bastion. Actually, they do find the kill. Credit over to Contusik, who made his rotation up. So 2-0 in favor of Snow Avalanche. And that was a really tough call. I guess Dingo not respecting the damage output of this team.
Really not. And actually, this is a little bit of a precarious moment there for Redix. You know, we see two members of Snow Avalanche in the lane of Redix. He's being forced back. There's a big wave pushing in. He has to be careful because this could be a good moment for them to engage onto Redix.
This is just crazy. The harass that Lyra can provide. Bastion, every single time he can, he walks up and gets a couple attacks off onto Redix, and it just puts him down constantly. He's sitting below half health.
Yeah, and actually, because this is actually quite good for Dark Potato in a way. There's putting so much pressure on trying to force Redix out. The Dark Potato, he's not getting starved out of the jungle like he has been in the past. He's keeping up there with Contention, you know, 20 to 32. Not that big a deal. He's still got a rotation to go. And this is what he needs. He wants Samuel to be able to scale into the mid game. And in those team fights, it's going to be very important to have that gold and those items.
Oh, the Dark Potato does not have boots. I'm not sure if Snow actually knew that, but they knew that they could take away these forward camps, and they do so. As far as these teams scaling, does one have the strong advantage over the other?
I feel Kestrel, you know, I feel she's very powerful, but I think her strongest point is, you know, I think early her Glimmer shots do a lot, but once she gets that, you know, the breaking point or the Sorrow Blade, or even think, you know, Tyrants, there's lots of different builds. That's when she's super powerful. She can really, you know, go into the fights. But hang on,
Redix finds that active camo, gets that Glimmer shot and the kill. Oh my goodness, Contusik had booted up into lane to try to get there. He dropped the self heal. It looked like maybe they would actually find it, but it's G2 who turned it around. Now Oblivion comes out. It's not going to land. Bastion has that sigil. It's just going to heal himself up. Contusik on that Adagio. They're just going to be able to sustain and stay right here in the lane.
Yeah, they're doing well right now. I think G2, they're keeping in the game. They're doing some good kinds of harass back, but Redix isn't, to be honest.
Well, I mean, Redix, he played that last fight very well. Dark Potato grabbing this mid right here. Bastion actually harassing very well. Contusik's going to move down, does not have boots, but Waldemar does. Waldemar does! Moves forward, Faint of Heart, the on point. And who's the target? It's going to be Dingo. He drops that fountain. Scout Trap does land. Can he get himself out of here? Vanguard into a better position.
Clutch!
See, it's all about the angle of pursuit. Waldemar, does he drop the on point over the wall? Oh, he does get it! Woo! Gets it right there. Nothing Redix can do to save his ally, but he does get their back, so that's very nice for him. Dingo goes down.
That was very nice coming out from Snow Avalanche, recognizing that, you know, Redix had gone home, Dark Potato, Dingo, they were caught out. Dingo was low, and, you know, Dingo stayed alive for a very long time, some very good clutch plays coming out from there, but it was not enough. And
that was so close, though.
So close. But Avalanche, they're going to get a lot of this, they're going to get the jungle of G2, and they might get that gold mine.
Well, one shot, one miss coming out. Ella Giggle, Redix. Hopefully the next one is better for you. You can't land it if you don't throw it, though. I want to talk items, though. A lot of times we see Serpent's Mask coming out first on your Black Feathers. It's Breaking Point first here. With the Barb Needle, you imagine that Serpent's Mask coming out second. Is this because he has so much heal on his team? I mean, what do you think?
I feel like that is, you know, he might not need to prioritize that Serpent's Mask as early as he normally would. So Breaking Point first is not necessarily a bad thing. What I would like to see come out from G2 is all three members building out pauldrons, and this might be a very controversial point to me, and people will probably disagree with me, but what will be happening is we will be seeing Waldemar diving straight onto Redix and for Dark Potato, and it'll be so important for them to land the pauldrons onto him.
Right.
And just reduce his attack speed. That'll reduce a lot of his damage. Dark Potato, though, I'm sorry.
Ooh, rest in peace, Dark Potato, aka Light Potato, as Das Liquor Spec has dubbed him. Or just Potato. Savage, you're so savage today. Turn it down, please.
I mean, you don't tell me to turn anything down.
Oh, it's true. Well, you told me to compose myself. And I won't do it. Snow applying pressure on this lane turret. Doing a pretty good job. It's going to be down below 50% health quite easily. One shot, one kill. It's going to just land onto Waldemar. It's full adrenaline stacks over here for Redix, but doesn't look like they're ready to follow. Dingo has the gauntlet now, so this is a tool if they find someone out of position. Well, you know what? Another thing. We talked about Black Feathers. He can Rose Offensive out of the gauntlet.
Yeah.
You can also use Portal to get out of the gauntlet as well. So
That's
those are two tools
true.
that you can easily escape that with.
Very, very true. And actually, now that Lyra has reached level 7, she does have that, you know, that tool available for her. So one thing that would be nice to see coming out from G2 is the one that Gauntlet being thrown down, the Drifting Dark being thrown out at the same time. And if you can keep them in, it'll be really good. But the problem is 2 of the 3 members can escape.
Yeah, they definitely can. And hopefully they're able to use those, not stack those abilities, right? Like, if they can use a portal while holding on to the Rose Offensive, because you don't want to burn one of those early on if you don't have to. Drifting Dark's down, and that's a gauntlet that Dingo wishes he could have back, but Waldemar, is it going to be enough? Can he Rose Offensive the fountain? Oh, he's barely alive. Dark Potato burning down. Contusik has massive damage. Redix, he's trying to get himself into a better position, does not have his boots available. Dingo, Vanguard's on to Dark Potato, uses that Corrupted Genius to keep himself sustained here in the lane. Snow Avalanche have a definite advantage. Dark Potato tried to get some damage out with that Drifting Dark and the Malice and Verdict, but it is just not enough, and Snow should be able to take this turret down.
That was a very successful fight from Snow Avalanche. We saw a really nice defense coming from G2. It just wasn't enough. That gauntlet, I think that failed gauntlet just said it all there. And Avalanche, they really took advantage of that situation. They got the turret, they're going to get the gold mine again.
Well, I mean, this is exactly what you would imagine they're going to do. If you win a fight and there is no pressure, every objective is yours. So they get the turret, they're going to get gold mine, and look at the vision across this map. Scout traps are down everywhere. There are no surprises that G2 can pull off here. And the element of surprise is almost everything when you get into this competitive level.
Definitely, you know, this is something Bastion's always been really good at. He first came onto the scene. We first saw him at the Awesome Finals as part of Blackhawk, and this is something he's always been so good at. But Dingo, oh, he's going to take a bit of hurt there.
A bit of hurt indeed. Redix drops that active camo. It's just kind of like an escape route, you know, so his ally knows, hey, this is a safe place that you could run. And ultimately, Snow not going to be baited into a bad situation here. This Avalanche combo, the composition is working out pretty well. Is G2, do they just bide their time? Do you wait for Avalanche to make a mistake? Or at some point, do they put up some pressure?
I mean, the thing is, so this Lyra Adagio, everybody calls it the NA composition. And I think the last team that played was Gangstars yesterday, and nobody can make a dent in this. And really to hope G2 do, because they've got a lot of poke from that Samuel and the Kestro. If they just keep doing that, it's going to be difficult to try and get on Waldemar, but that Oblivion is going to be so important. Hang on a second.
One shot, one kill. A little bit of damage coming out right here, but Dark Potato, he doesn't want to commit into this, I think. Well, this also comes down, once again, to having no vision, right? Because Contusic's Adagio was nowhere to be found, but still Snow playing like they're a three-man team. And I really love that. I think better than any other team in the tournament thus far, Snow Avalanche are able to they're such a deceptive move, right? You play like you have everybody there, and G2 are forced to respect that.
Yeah, and exactly. They're playing so aggressively. G2 can't think, well, the only reason they can be playing this aggressively is either if they're really stupid or, if they've got all three members there. And, they don't have all three members and they're not stupid. But, oh, Dark Potato, this is a good situation for Snow Avalanche.
Yeah, it's a great position for them. It's going to be Dark Potato moving out from the base right now. He has his Eve completed, but the siege is on right now from Snow Avalanche. Oh, it's a nice active camo down, but Waldemar's into the back lines. It looks like he's going to rethink that, but rest in peace, Redix. That is just crazy damage coming out of Snow Avalanche. They cannot kill Contusic. Contusic was on like 2% health, but instantly healed right back up between Fountain, Sigil, and that Gift of Fire. And look at Waldemar, he's low, but he really doesn't actually care.
Yeah, he just does not care at all. And G2, they're really going to struggle to try and take down someone. I think the key to this is just picking a target and bursting them down. And you kind of wonder, is Waldemar the best target? He's got that Serpents, he's got the two heals behind him. Is it even better just to go for Kensic, who actually doesn't have that much defense, rather than going for Waldemar?
I think so, but at the same time, Waldemar had jumped onto Redix in the backline, so you have to respect that, right? Like, you don't have an easy way, unless you sleep him with the Oblivion. I think that's, if we're just theory crafting this out, maybe you get the Oblivion landed on Waldemar, which is going to be hard. He has Reflex and Rose Defensive. If you can put him to sleep, then you go on to Contusic. But otherwise, you have to deal with Waldemar.
Actually, they could maybe play around Waldemar having to dive in. And if we did see Dark Potato trying to get the Oblivion there onto Waldemar when he did dive in, but it just didn't work.
And you talked about earlier, you thought it would be great to have Atlas across the board for everyone on G2. But we actually have, we do have one on Dingo, but there's two Atlas Pauldrons coming out of Snow Avalanche on Bastion and Waldemar. Talk to me about that.
That's mainly for Redix. We're seeing Waldemar diving straight onto him, and it's so important if you get rid of the breaking point. He can't build the stacks as fast, he can't deal as much damage every second with reduced attack speed, and that's what they're doing. It's very good for Waldemar. Bastion maybe not so much, because he's playing at a range here. He may be a bit aggressive, but I don't think he's going to get within the range of Redix to apply that Pauldrons.
Well, he can always use the ultimate to get right in there, apply that Pauldron, and just go right back out. I mean, that's...
I've not seen him play that way so far.
Yeah, well, just because he hasn't done it doesn't mean he can't. One shot is going to land right here, really not doing too much damage at all. Redix has completed the breaking point. This is usually where we start to see Kestrels have nice team fights if they're not getting burst down early.
I think maybe G2, they need to kind of calm down a little bit, because what's happening is, as you were saying, there's a lot of armor being built on the side of Snow Avalanche, and right now they have to rely on Dark Potato mainly for damage, because that Pauldrons, we don't see any armor piercer on the side of Redix. That's going to negate a lot of his damage, and once he gets that bone, so once he even gets a little bit of armor pierce, maybe they're in a better position to fight, but right now, no.
Right now, just no, says Shingy. Well, guys, we have only a couple more seconds before Kraken's going to be spawning out on this map. The pressure will only mount for G2 as Snow have complete control of this map. Just a small net worth lead, but objectively, this game is completely going their way.
Completely, but actually, if you do look at it, Redix is outfarming Waldemar by quite a bit, 24-25, and that's because Snow Avalanche are constantly pushing, but they're not being able to push down that tower. But Redix, you're taking a lot of damage there. Watch it.
Yeah, he's eating a lot of damage. I'd like to see G2 find a way to get back to base. Oh, Dark Potato! So Fountain forced out of Dingo to keep him alive right here. It's kind of dangerous to be forcing that, or popping that Fountain before you're actually taking a full fight. I don't know, G2, I don't like this trade. I'd like to see them get back to base and then fuse up.
It's so difficult for G2 now. There's so much sustain. If they do any damage on the Snow Avalanche, they just heal right up. And that's the point of this composition. It's very difficult to counter. And I think this is the reason why most teams have not been letting Lyra and Adagio go through into the same side. And that might be a mistake coming to the draft. G2 are in a very difficult position right now, especially with that Kraken being taken.
Yeah, well, I mean, this was the moment that Snow Avalanche became Throw Avalanche. Last game, they captured Kraken, moved down into the base, and G2 completely started to turn the game around. Maybe G2 are just, you know, they're biding their time, and this is just money in the bank. They've invested into this.
Definitely, they're really biding their time here. We see Redix, he's got the armor pierce. That is good. That is what he needs to try and fight back Snow Avalanche. And Dark Potato, I'm glad to see, it really does please me that he is beginning to build that kinetic shield. Because right now we're seeing in the fights, Kenzie6 just poking away at him, and Dark Potato is just kind of dying, so he needs that.
Just kind of dying.
He is.
So what's Dark Potato been doing? Can you break it down for us? Oh, he's just kind of dying. Well, that's, I mean, it's been the story of the game. It really feels like the Samuel hasn't had a huge impact here, but he definitely can. I'd like to see a really nice drifting Dark as an engage happens out of Snow Avalanche. Kraken plus Snow doing very nice work. This turret's going to be falling. There you go, the portal in. He uses the Atlas right on top of them and tries to boot out. That's exactly what Bastion wanted to do. But a nice stun coming out of Redix. Redix, he gets the Vanguard, getting up those breaking point stacks. He's up to 17 stacks. It feels like they almost could have fully engaged because Fountain was used. I mean, that was the moment, G2. That was the moment. There's another stun.
Oh,
they don't want to go in. They're just going for this Kraken. This is money in the bank right here. Money in the bank if they can take it down without losing anything, and this turret should stay alive. Really nice fight for G2.
Really nice fight for G2. You know, they're switching focus, but sometimes they're going to go on the Kraken. We're going to try and burst it down before it takes in more turrets. And then they're switching to Snow Avalanche. We're going to build our breaking point stacks. We're going to do this. And they're really switching their focus, forcing Avalanche to use their fights and forcing them to use all the heals they had, and then switching back to the Kraken. And that was really good. You know, they're at the same time they're, you know, offensively forcing Avalanche back, and at the same time they're defending their turrets.
That was really nice.
You
break it down exactly as it was happening there. I just hope that G2...
Oh, Dingo.
Dingo doesn't know. Dingo doesn't know. It's the portal, the bright bulwark. Dingo, he can Vanguard. He takes the portal back. Dingo making the plays. Oh, Dingo, Superman plays. One shot, one miss out. That's the gauntlet. Waldemar stunned up. I don't know if that's the one Dingo wanted. It's either a miscommunication or he was just fully trying to disengage out of that fight. It felt like he wanted his teammates to go into Snow Avalanche there, but either way, Dingo able to get himself out of that situation where Snow had a complete element of surprise.
Well, he escaped, and that's all that matters, because it was so close there. We could just see Avalanche just kind of waiting around, and that bulwark was genius. Absolutely genius. You couldn't Vanguard over the wall. Kind of stuck there for the portal. That was really brilliant and funny and everything.
Dingo had to make that decision like in a split second. He's like, I want a Vanguard? I can't Vanguard? Oh, I'll take the portal. All right, I'm out of here. No big deal. No big deal.
Look at the infusions. Look at the infusions.
Look at infusions coming out en masse. G2 starting to reach their final form. 19 minutes into this game. Net worth lead negligible.
Uh-oh.
They're down 1 to 5. This is the party bush. They're going to war tread forward. Bulwark's down. Dingo's there, but this stun. Redix is making the plays. Redix making the plays. Waldemar is down. That's the crit. The minion's foot OP. They're turning around. Contusix is dead. Bastion on the run. G2 play for the late game. This team does it almost better than anyone. My goodness, Avalanche started that fight, G2 finished it.
This is the shutdown, as the screen nicely said, and we're going to look at that fight right again. This is the very aggressive play coming out from Avalanche. That bulwark, it's all about Dingo, the Redix and Dark Potato. They have the opportunity to build it, and this is when Waldemar, he gets stunned, and that's so critical of him because he gets completely caught out, and that was, you know, getting Waldemar was so important there. Kenzie6 and Bastion, they were kind of easy because they're the back line there.
You're so savage today. Just call it just easy plays.
It was easy.
It's all right. Chingy is vainglorious, so she can call him out like that. Kraken unleashed by G2. My goodness, how is this going to play out here? They're going to be able to get at least a couple of turrets, and if G2 play this well, they could potentially. There is a chance that they could potentially end the game off of this.
They need to clear the wave.
They need to. Oh yeah, that's true. Actually, that wave is very large. It's going to do a lot of work.
Oh, that turret's almost dead.
So this is a 2v3 right now. They're pulling a Snow Avalanche right here. Oh, and I don't know if it's going to backfire. Redix, he moves. He does get the active camo, but Redix, you got to get out of here. Redix is dead. I don't know. I don't like it, G2. That was not the play. Now Dingo needs to get himself out of here. He's distracting, but you're not going to get many
Dark Potato, go back.
Oh, Dark Potato. Be gone. Get out of here. She waving Dark Potato away. Well, Snow Avalanche, that's a great job to realize that was a 2v3, taking advantage of it. And what could have been 3 or more turrets turns into barely 2.
Yeah, well, they need to get this tower, otherwise G2 Esports, they're making a loss on that Kraken, and I'm just saying this in very accountancy terms here, but they're going to get that last turret, and they are now in the lead in terms of goal. Well, they're not, never mind. Take back what I said. I'm out.
You can't take
Drop
it.
smic.
You said it.
I'm dropping my mic.
You said it. It is forever immortalized in Twitch. People will watch back, we'll make clips of it, we'll tweet it at you as well. Snow Avalanche, it was a great job there. I mean, and we talked about before how Snow were doing such a good job, better than almost anyone, of forcing these, or getting into these situations where it felt like they were together as a team, but they really weren't. And they sniffed that out. They were like, there's only 2 of them there. Just go. Bastion making the call. And when we talked to these teams as well, they said, just listen to Bastion. We'll get it done.
Well, Bastion's doing a very good job here, but I feel like they're just waiting for that good opportunity to jump on G2 right now. It's all very tense, and I think they could be waiting there a while, actually.
I know I'm saying like they do. I said like the other tactic is better than almost any other team, but they hide in places almost more than any other team as well.
This is it.
The war treads forward. Dark Potato, is he going to be engaged on? The gauntlet is down. Dark Potato makes his way out of it. Oblivion comes down. He slept 2 of them. Can they take advantage of this? Waldemar getting pretty good damage down, but Redix is trading. Redix gets the active camo. Can he explode it? No, it's not going to happen. Bastion, he turns on a Bastion. Dark Potato, the Malice, the Verdict, onto Contusik. Everybody eating a lot of damage right now. There's still a Crucible available by Dingo, but Bastion holding on to that fountain. I think that gives Snow a little bit of an advantage here.
I think that was a pretty good fight there for G2. The gauntlet was actually really nice coming out from Dingo. You know, he was able to stun out Bastion there, and that was really important. And Waldemar, the Oblivion, I feel that Oblivion is catching him out a hell of a lot there. He is just getting put to sleep every single time, and at that point it's so easy to get those, you know, as many skills there onto him as possible.
No, that was a really nice Oblivion.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Beautiful Oblivion indeed. And the problem was the Dark Potato was split apart from his team, but G2 moving
They recovered
aggressively.
fast.
That bright bulwark comes down. That's defensive. Bastion just wants to disengage. Maybe they look for a little bit of reposition before they get into this. On point from Waldemar. They're going to move back.
Oh no, it's going to miss.
Do we have abilities? Are everything active and ready? Dingo's got fountain in 3 seconds. Waldemar, he smells
Dark
the potato. He's gone for him. He's snared up. Dark Potato moving backwards. He's in that drifting dark. The Malice, the Verdict doing good work. Redix with the glimmer shots from the backside. Dingo's trying to frontline for his team. That's the fountain. Snow Avalanche are on the run. I think this is, if G2 can find them, this is G2's fight right here. Dingo moves with the blood for blood. It's Waldemar in. He actually lands that Atlas. The burst comes out, blocked by Dingo. Nice job. Redix needs to get backwards. Redix is dead!
Oh my gosh!
Snow Avalanche, they have the advantage in this fight. Dark Potato's got to get out. It's Dingo out to the east, Dark Potato out to the west. Dark Potato is dead! Snow Avalanche have won the fight. And this is a huge respawn timer right here. This is going to be Kraken captured up by Snow Avalanche. And such a dangerous position for G2 to be in.
That was such a dangerous fight. And you know what? We saw Dark Potato split away from the rest of his team, and that was so bad coming out from them. You know what? You don't want those fights happening. You don't want to be put in that position. That turret's easily going to go down right now. And well, maybe the death timers are not going to be enough. Oh, they might be enough. They might take down the Kraken, but I gotta say, Avalanche, if they push with this, they get that buff, and as G2, they're gonna have to put up a lot of defense to try and get through this.
How did G2 approach this fight?
Carefully.
Break it down for me! Break it down for everybody!
I refuse. Just kidding. Anyway, so what they need to do, you've got Redix, you have a Dark Potato. So we want to do what they did last time, which is switch onto the top Kraken, try and burst it down, but also try and get those breaking point stacks onto like any of members of Snow Avalanche. The more breaking point stacks, the more it'll help you take down the Kraken, and it will force them back as well. And you know, they're pretty good. All 3 members are infused on the side of G2. However, you can say the same for Snow Avalanche here, and that portal, one offensive one.
Yeah, it's a great job once again. He does get the Atlas off. G2 able to reposition. Drifting Dark is down. It's an offensive positioning on that. And Gauntlet down, it just means G2 just want to focus this Kraken. Redix, he's quite low energy. Waldemar stunned up. And Waldemar, he smells Redix off to the side. He's going to get in there. Waldemar stunned up, but Redix cannot go down in this fight. Redix, low energy. This is not what this caster wants right now. The Kraken's still doing work. Snow Avalanche, they are in a position to close out this game right now. Fountain out of Dingo. G2 are just on a knife's edge of losing this game. They've got to deal with Contusik. It's Redix got the kill. 2v3. The main crystal. It's going down. Snow Avalanche are going to the finals. They've done it. Straight out of the Challenger Series and into the finals. My goodness. Oh
right here. We knew they had potential. They found a way to get through round after round in these EU championships. And look at that, hugs all around from their sister organization. Hell of a series out of these guys.
I don't even know where to begin. I think both teams definitely knew what was at stake here. They fought for everything, and it just wasn't enough for G2. It did so well. This is probably the best G2 I have seen in a while, and I just hope we're going to be seeing this again from them next season.
Oh, yeah, G2 will be back.
Oh,
this is always a team to be reckoned with. It's just such a heartbreak. They need a moment there to collect themselves. Oh, I can't even imagine both of these teams. There's such hype on one side, such a tough situation to be in.